am always so tickled, I guess, so honored to see that people show up to hear anything that I have to say. And people call me from all over the world, and I had a call from Germany today. And I don't know if there'll ever be a time when I'm just not amazed. And I tell you why I am so amazed. It's not because Sonia wrote a book. It's not because of that. What amazes me and excites me is the fact that people are getting the information in the manner it was intended. And it was written, intended to give people freedom, for people to really be able to take their freedom back. And those are the calls and the emails that I get, are people saying to me, I get it. And that's what this is about. There is a point of an I get it. And when that I get it clicks, there is no third party that you will ever need to tell you who you are. And that's what I'm talking about. And just to give you a little bit of information on me, back in 1992, well, first of all, for those of you who have heard me speak before, I've always had a curiosity. You know, I was born curious. I grew up in the church like everybody else, and I always wondered, who is God and why does he get to be in charge? I always wondered who is God and how can I get that? How can I be part of that? While everybody else was operating in a more of a subservient level, I felt that I was the child of a royal design, and that if I am the child of, then I am equal to. I didn't understand it then, but it would take me some years. In my teenage years, I kind of started to look at things a little bit. I was very curious. I loved sci-fi, and I loved all these different things. And it wasn't until after I went on, I got married and had my kids, and then in '92 I went through a divorce, and it was at that point when I needed to find some place to really lean on, and I knew that it could not come from another human being. I just knew that. And so those experiences, and I went through a very difficult time, and for those of you who have read the book, I don't talk about it, but I summarize it in the back of the book. And the reason why I summarize it is because I want people to understand that everything that you've lived in your life, every experience you've had, is awesome. It doesn't matter what it is, because it's led you to this moment. But you have to begin to understand how those experiences work, and then when you appreciate them, you actually transform them. And so a lot of what I talk about, I tend to approach much of this from a scientific process, a simplified scientific process. Anyway, going back to my awakening, I didn't know that I was going to be led into science. I had no idea. I was just trying to figure out, my place here and all of this. I didn't know how to meditate. I didn't know. I had no idea. I didn't know anybody else really felt the way that I did. So there was no workshops. I didn't go investigating anything really. I just know that I needed to know, and I needed to know that what I was going to find out was the real deal. So I kind of set out and diligently kind of went at this focus over a period of time. And with my persistency, I remember to some degree the day when my breath, I went into this movement of my breath. I would do this all the time. And all of a sudden, this feeling just welled up in me. I didn't understand it. I just know that it was outside of this time and space. And over a period of time, I became like a child in a candy store because I started to feel something much grander fill me. You know, this very intense vibration. I started to then I started getting information. I was going through my Bible at the time also because I was trying to correlate. I was just trying to figure it all out. And then it all just started coming, and I was writing, and I didn't understand some of the stuff that I was writing because some of it was at the time science, or they were talking about color and sound, and I've never taken a physics class in my life. And then over time, I started to trust what I was feeling and understanding, and it would take some time before I was led to, you know, I could be passing by a bookstore or something, but something would jump out at me that would confirm what I had been hearing or what I had written. And so it started out in that manner, and I developed a trust and an understanding. It's so much more than that, but that's the general gist of it. And I understood that there was a divine science at work. And it wasn't fluff, and it wasn't fantasy. And I got it.